me start by, we talked about the disaster of the mountains last week and all the thoughts and prayers. Tylee Kraft went in the hospital this morning, and he's really struggling. So he needs a lot of thoughts and prayers. And then we'll get to the game. But just everybody's picked him up. He's had a tough couple of years. He was supposed to be at the game today. He had to go to the hospital. So we need everybody's thoughts and prayers for him as he fights through some of this stuff and continues to fight, because he's had a 2-year fight. The game was good. Pitt's really a good team. We knew that. The difference in their team, I think they've always had good skill. They've played good defense. They're always aggressive. The quarterback's really good. He's a guy that came in, made all the difference in the world. He threw the ball well. He threw for 381 yards. We had a couple opportunities. If we intercept the one at the goal line right at the end, we still have a chance to win the game. So we had our opportunities to get done what we needed to get done. But they've got good skill. He dropped the ball off to the backs and did a good job. We gave up 4 or 5 explosive plays that we can't continue to give up. That was the difference in the game for us defensively. And we had the 1 turnover for a touchdown, but we still just get 1 turnover. So we've got to we have got to limit the number of explosives they get each week. Georgia Tech will have a great quarterback and skill next week. And then we've got to still force more turnovers. I kept thinking we'd get a strip, we'd get a tip, and even like I said, the last one there that he threw up down at the goal line, that gave us a chance to still win the game. Offensively, we keep getting better. We're really not turning the ball over. We're running the ball pretty good, but we're missing plays. We got to be more consistent. You go back and look at third downs. We were 5 of 15. They were 9 for 16. You can't do that. The other thing, we knew they were going to move the ball and score, so we wanted to be really aggressive on fourth downs. We were 2 of 6. You can't go for fourth downs and make 2 of 6. You got to make them. So if we'd done those things, we would have walked in here a lot happier and felt much better about the game. Kicking game was better. Field position was better the second half. Nate McCullum finally got some kickoff returns that really helped us with field position, and we didn't have penalties on them, so that gave us a better chance. But if you look at it, you have to make a 4th and 1 at the end of the game to win. You have to. That's what it comes down to with football games. You and them right there, 4th and 1, to give you a chance to win the game, and we don't make it. And it had to be, it's so close. So that's what we've got to do. We're a better football team than we were when we started. Even offensively now, we're better than we were against Minnesota. Jacoby just continues to get better. Our protection was better today. We dropped a touchdown pass. We overthrow a couple. It's all there for us. We've just got to keep working. And somebody asked, I think Jones asked on the radio, how do you keep them working? You show them all the positive things they've got, and you show them how close they are to being good. And then you go back, and that's an undefeated team, and there's not that much difference in the 2 teams. So we had our chances. And we've got to continue to be positive, and we've got to do a better job coaching. It's about the kids. It's not about anything else. Questions?
2 of those missed 4th downs were inside the 10, 1 early after a 19-play drive. What went into thinking there about not taking the points after doing that? And then later in the game, you had another opportunity as well in that similar situation.
Yeah, we didn't think we were going to stop them very well just going into the game. So we made a conscious decision going in. We need to score touchdowns. We couldn't be kicking field goals.
Does that stem from maybe a little lack of confidence in the defense?
No, it stems from their quarterback being really good. They're one of the highest scoring teams around, and they were really good. And analytics said go for every one of them. They'll tell you to kick, but they knew Pitt was going to score points. So if we'd made those 4th downs, you wouldn't be asking that question. Very honestly, I'm not being critical of you, but if we'd made them, we'd been talking about how aggressive and smart the coach was. Instead, how stupid he was for not kicking field goals. And you don't know you're going to make the field goals. We got a good kicker, but that's not 100% either.
I just want to know what went into the thinking on it, so I'm not critical of either way.
No, I wasn't being critical of you being critical.
Mack, he's the smallest guy on the field, but it hurts you pass receiving more than running on. He's a little guy that can make a big difference.
He's really quick. He transferred from Western Carolina, and we knew it. He's he's so small, he hides behind those big linemen, you can't find him, he just slips around, and again, I'm amazed how good their quarterback is and how poised he was as a young player that started 5 games now on the road with pressure. I mean, he's really a good player. He just came from nowhere. So he was a 5th guy, I think, at Alabama, which shows you how good Alabama is. So he was hid in the depth chart, but he's changed who they are completely.
Back in the mix, get Rucker back in the mix.
Yeah, it helped us. He didn't get to play much. We only had him in on 3rd downs. We wanted to make sure that he's totally well and comfortable before he gets back out. So hopefully he'll be able to play a lot next week. In the first play he's in there, he forces a quick throw and knocks the quarterback down. So we need him back. We need him back in leadership, but also he's one of the best players in the country on defense.
Last week on defense, you said some of the problems were just how amped the guys were to make a play. So I'm curious, those 4th down plays versus key moments in the game, I mean, did you see maybe some of that there? Was it just simply execution? You know, anything?
I don't know. We'll go home and watch it right now, and then we'll talk to them tomorrow and see what they were thinking. We'll talk to Coach Collins and our secondary guys and see why we weren't in the right position. And it's usually something a little bit different in every situation and something crazy for people that hadn't been in that huddle.
Would the same thing go for them going 8 for 10 on 3rd down, the second half the same? You got to look at it and see kind of what happened.
Yeah, I think the quarterback's really good. They were confident enough. Most people would run the ball and run the clock out down at the end there, and they're throwing it.
Picked up third
And
down.
I think he's really good. He's as good as quarterbacks I've seen this year. And we thought that coming in. We were just hoping a young guy might throw us some balls. And he threw us a couple. One of them we caught for a touchdown, one of them we didn't. So he did a really good job.
Getting a few more touches today, ends up with 10 catches. I guess his involvement early in the year, I guess compared to last year, was that more so just a result of, offense maybe figuring itself out? And I guess in getting him involved today, what kind of led him to, getting the touches that he did?
Yeah, he is healthy. We're figuring out who we are offensively. We're on our 3rd quarterback and one that didn't go through spring practice. And then you've got your guards and centers. Tackles haven't played. Your guards and centers have all had high ankle sprains and flu and diabetes, and it's been, and your coach is down. So it's been an amazing year with the stuff that we've had to deal with to get things fixed. And that's why I think we'll get better on offense each week. There were signs today of looking like an offense that we had in the past against a really good defense that blitzes all the time. So a lot of the mistakes that we made against JMU and we made against Duke with protection, we fixed today. So that should help us as we look at Georgia Tech next week.
Well, back, you mentioning the offense, being better than compared to the Minnesota game. I guess what elements of it you kind of look at in making that assessment of where the improvements were?
Yeah, you start looking at Omarion's running for over 100 yards every week. I thought Mack's had a really good 3rd quarter, or 2/3 of it at Minnesota, so we were starting to look like who we wanted to and who we had been all spring and preseason. And now you're talking about Jacoby. We actually told him in the summer, you will not play this fall unless somebody gets hurt. Get in shape, get ready for spring practice, but you haven't been here for spring practice. You don't know anything about this offense. And here we are now saying, okay, let's go, man. And he's really trying to do a great job of learning fast, and Chip and the offensive coaches are trying to figure out what he can do best. I was proud that he ran a couple of times and made key plays today. But there's still more out there for our offense, and we can do a better job of not giving up big plays with our defense.
The 3rd straight loss, how does your message to these guys change, if at all?
It does, and it gets better in that we got a chance. And we said all the time, we're going to be a team that gets better at the end of the year. And we are. We're playing better teams. Pittsburgh's the best team we've played by far. And we had our chances. And what we've got to do is send a positive message to them tomorrow and show them, here are the 5-7 plays again. And we got to start making them. And you can't gripe about officiating because they're going to miss some. You can't do that. You got to win a game enough that a player here two with them doesn't matter. But I told the guys in there, it's a great learning experience for us. And what you've got to do is your focus has to be stronger than the distractions around you. And that's part of growing up. You're going to have that if you're a CEO of your business. You're going to have that in life. So do it. And I'm doing better handling them. So I'm growing up at 73. So hopefully.
More difficult, or I guess what are the challenges with the 3 straight losses of trying to prevent that snowballing effect with that message? Kind of
I'm sorry, trying to prevent the.
a snowballing effect with like that messaging, I guess. Where do you kind of turn to that?
I don't know what snowballing effect would mean.
So, in terms of, you know, the snowballing effect of the 3 straight losses, trying to flip that message around and get the results, I guess, like you're trying to see.
Nobody talks about 3 straight wins. We always talk about 1 straight loss and then 2 straight losses, now 3 straight losses. We haven't done that very much around here, and when we have, it's been in the end against really good teams. So this is a team that you handle each game differently, you handle each team differently, and my job is to get with the coaches who are really down right now. They're frustrated. They expect to win, they want to win, they work from 5:30 in the morning till 10:30 at night all week to get a plan together to go in there, and when you lose, you're crushed. And then the kids. These are 18 to 22-year-olds that have lives, and ones that didn't play today will be disappointed. Their parents will be disappointed. And then you just go back and you try to be honest with everybody and make sure that you show them, here is what happened. One of the great things about iPads is they can't sit and say it wasn't my fault. When you take that iPad and you show him right here is where you were, and right here was the motion, and here's what you're supposed to do, and here's what you did, it really helps coaches on the sideline explain what's going on to each other and for the player to correct it. I told the official they missed a couple of things today that were key in the game, and he said something like, well, you all just gripe. And I said, man, we got iPads. We can see now that you missed it. It's different. You don't get to look at the iPad, I do. So if I come over here and complain about a call, it's because I can see that you missed it. And you change the game, and that's your job. So, but to his credit, then he would go to the referee and say, we missed this one from what it sounds like, so let's be aware of this, and let's watch it very closely next time, make sure we do what's right.
Talked to you on Monday. You said that you hear the noise, you're okay with it, 'cause you understand people are upset and you want them to be upset. How hard is it to guard, or is it impossible to guard against the kids hearing the same noise at this point?
I don't know that. There's 120 of them, and they're all smart. We got the best academics in the ACC, and 3rd best in the country. They've all got iPhones. I see them on them all the time. If you're on an iPhone and you're losing football games, you're going to see something negative. But usually they're watching pro basketball, or I'll walk up sometimes at lunch and say, what are you watching? He'll say, I'm watching this Netflix from something. So I think there's going to be negatives in everybody's life, and learning how to handle those negatives and turn them into positives is one of the great teaching moments that you get with college football. And like I said, everybody that loses today is going to be answering the same questions. That's just the world we live in.
Mentioning the analytics earlier, and aside from that, did you feel like coming into today that this was the type of game, Pitt was the type of opponent where you needed to go for the 4th downs?
Yeah, we said that before you got here.
What I was going to say, you converted a couple on a 1 long drive before you got stuff there in the first half.
Yeah, we decided all that as a staff by Thursday, and we knew that we were going to have to go for it. Analytics actually said go for the 4th and 3 at the -30 when we were just 1 touchdown down, but they were moving the ball, and their point is you got a better chance to make 3 yards than you do to stop them in some cases. And you're trying to win a game, and they always say go for 4th and 1. That's 100%. They think you have to make a 4th and 1. We didn't go for that one, and had a few boos, I was told, and then we stopped them, got it right back, and went and scored. So it was the right decision not to go for that 4th down. And usually I will tell Jeff Collins, get you guys ready. We're at the -40, and this series, we need to go for it if it's 4th and 4th or less. And that's what you do. Alex Mars has the analytics book, and he tells me every time, this is a go for it if it's 1 or less. This is a go for it if it's 10 or less. This is a go for it if it's 3 or less. If it's 4 or 5, then it's your call. And if you can't kick a field goal, if it's 10 or more, you have to go for it. So that's what you get. You get a lot of different options, and then you just figure out the momentum in the game, the time in the game, how's it working. And I felt like that we weren't consistently stopping them with that quarterback, so I thought our best chance is our skill in Jacoby on offense, getting the ball in the right places. And we'll go back and look at, we were 2 for 6, which isn't good enough. And we'll go back and look at all 6. We'll look at the calls. We'll look at if it was there and we didn't execute it, or we'll look at, see if it was a bad call. And that's just what you do. And then next week against Georgia Tech, we'll have to analyze, are we going to do a better job stopping them? If we're not, then we have to be aggressive on every drive. They actually say, if you're 4th and 1 on the first drive from the -30, go for it. I mean, that's what analytics says, because the odds of you getting a first down on 4th and 1 are so high that you're better off than giving it back to the other team. That's just the world that analytics live in. What we do is we take it as a suggestion. We don't take it as an answer. What else? Anything else?
Did you seem like the team fought today?
They fought hard. I'm really proud of them. And I told them that in the locker room. I'm proud of them. We talked about there's a couple of losses. People turn on you and people are mad. I got all that. I get paid for it. Kids don't. So I've told them it's a great lesson for you to have some people criticize you. Maybe it's not even accurate, because that's going to happen in your life too. But you got to learn how to handle that. Block out the noise, stay where your feet are, and get better. And today I've also told them, if you don't play hard, I got a problem. I can't handle that. As long as you give me everything you've got for 60 minutes, and I thought they did that today. I thought on the last drive they thought they had a chance to go down and score and kick an onside kick, still win the game. As long as we can do that, I'm good. We'll win enough games. But if you don't try, then I'm responsible for that, and I can't handle people not trying. Okay?
And then they stopped you. Was there any thought at all about a field goal there and then trying the onside kick? Because you needed 2 scores.
No, we would have. It was just a little too long. I think we were at 40, 30 something. It was out there where if you miss the field goal, the game's over. So we were, and the 4th down was 4th and 6 at the end? 4th and 7. So we felt like that was makeable. But we definitely discussed the field goal and then the onside kick. But we felt like, again, they were backing off. There were holes. We'd moved the ball right down. We felt like we had a chance to make it.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. And again,